Okay, folks, this is episode 639. Whoa, what a journey this has been. This is your host, Murray Stewart, and this is Blind Magic in Alice Springs. Hey, folks, I have always promised you that you'll get the real me. That's right, an authentic broadcast. So if you did get a little bit of extra entertainment at the end of episode 638, whilst we try and minimise our glitches, then it's just a part of the real effort to give you a real broadcast that's about real issues. So when you are, and if you do listen back to 638, you might have heard we had a little bit of, shall I say, technical difficulties at the end of the episode. That's okay. We live with that. You'll live with that. Life will go on. And so it is. I want to talk to you today about brain injuries. I do. And I don't want to talk to you from someone who is a survivor of a brain injury. No, I don't. Not today. I've done enough of that in the past. I'm going to talk to you from the point of view of being a therapist. You may very well be a fellow myotherapist. You might be. So here are some tips that I can pass on to you from I guess, a lived-in experience, but also as a myotherapist of many, many years. The first thing that I would say is to identify the part of the brain where the injury has occurred. If you do this, and you'll be able to do this by simply requesting from them, of course, with their consent, perhaps some of the scans that have been taken, the EEGs, etc. So if they are able to provide you with that information, then you'll be able to do the appropriate research to find out what has been affected in the portion of the brain which has been injured. And that's right, you will, by simple research. For example, in the frontal lobe, we have our emotions. That's right. Our emotions are locked in that portion of the brain. That's right, that's where the machinery is to deliver our emotional responses to all of the scenarios that life brings about. And that also would mean that is our mood centre. That's right, our mood centre. So people who have frontal lobe damage could exhibit some temperamental behaviour, and also they may be overly emotional. For example, they may become extremely emotional if you tell them a story which is of a sad nature. They may even become emotional just in talking to you. So be aware of that, won't you? Be aware of that, won't you? And you'll be able to, as I said, easily identify these issues simply by segmenting the part of the brain that has been affected, has been damaged, has been injured, and that by then doing the appropriate research to find out what that portion of the brain controls. You will. I also believe very much in massage. I do. Very much in massage. Massage can help to nullify, stabilise and settle apprehension, anxiousness, temperamental changes. Simply, it will help them to relax. So if you are a hands-on therapist, this is when you will come into your own. You will. Massage is a wonderful tool. It's a magnificent tool. And don't forget to also implement 3 tools into your treatment regime that are naturally available. And they are sunshine. Yes, sunshine. Very often those who have brain injuries can suffer with dysfunctional not only behaviour but also emotions. In other words, they could be rather depressed. And so getting a little sunshine on their body on some days, not in the blazing hot summer days of course, but particularly if there's been long periods of cloudy skies or in the wintertime, is a good thing, is a great thing. Also water. Drinking plenty of water not only will prevent dehydration, but will also assist in being a digestive neutraliser, which will help them dramatically, bring down high sugar levels or stabilise their glycemic levels. And so that also will act as a magnificent tool for you. And exercise. Yes, exercise. Once again, for producing those wonderful feel-good chemicals. Yes, nothing like exercise to do that. Just light exercise, that's all it has to be. And ask them what exercise they would like to do in the first instance, because you can prescribe whatever exercise program you like. If it's not something that they actually want to do, then it's probably not going to happen, and therefore it will be of no value to them. So find out what sort of exercise they like to do, and if you have some experience in setting exercise programs, then set the program around what they actually would do, and therefore the achievements will flow from there. I think another great tool that you have is advice. Being able to offer advice to your patients, to your clients. And I have to tell you, learning a language, not necessarily writing a language, but speaking a new language will open up neuro pathways. It'll create brand new neuro pathways. I'm sure you've heard about the elasticity of the brain and how it can reproduce. Yes, and that's exactly what would happen if you were able to encourage them to learn a new language. I can tell you from first-hand experience, it's been brilliant for me. Also, maybe learning a musical instrument. Yeah, why not? Once again, same purpose, creating brand new neuro pathways. So yeah, whatever musical instrument it might be, this is about encouraging them to think along those lines. This would obviously not be a compulsory element of your treatment, but just in your advice toolbox. When it comes to the learning language, I can certainly recommend an app called Audible, a magnificent app. And on that app, you can look up learning whatever language you desire, and a man named Paul Noble. That's right, Paul Noble, and his courses I highly recommend. whether it be Italian, Mandarin, Japanese, and so on and so forth. He has a magnificent methodology. One of the things that he encourages people to do is to forget things, He truly believes that the energy and the stress created through trying to memorise prevents you from being able to recall. And I agree with that, and I can tell you it absolutely worked for me. And remember, we're not talking about writing the language, we're just talking about speaking the language. And that's right. And I, as I said, highly recommend the Audible app, and I therefore highly recommend those courses by Paul Noble. Add that to your toolbox. I'm sure you will be able to utilise this podcast in your treatment of people who have brain injuries. And you might be amazed at the distance you make and the quality of life that you will deliver the affected people. Can I tell you, 12 months on from practicing some of these regimes, I am so much better. And I'm so grateful for the advice that I have been given by some learned people who understand. And I guess if I had to leave you with one other piece of advice, is that's exactly what you should do. You should seek out people who, and when I say you should advise your clients or your patients to seek out people with lived-in experience of strokes or brain injuries. Those people who have been a survivor of brain injuries, encourage people to reach out to those people. They might be amongst their social set, their families, their friends. They might be surprised who is out there who has a wonderful story and a wonderful message and therefore wonderful advice to deliver them. All right, everyone, this has been episode 639 of Blind Magic Communications production.